And incest. There are four victims the former sheriff is being tried for, and a fifth who came forward later. He's also expected to share his testimony. All of the alleged victims are males. They are family, friends, relatives, and people who worked with him while he was at the sheriff's office. Sims told jurors he will present them with evidence that shows them, quote, Strain is a rapist and a child molester.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
We're looking for the showers and storms wrapping up as we head into tonight. Then we're looking for very different conditions with a fall feel here.
Okay, we have two holding right now. We have Wayne from Mandeville, insurance question, and Miss E from New Orleans with a theme of fraud question.
Overnight and early morning hours on your Thursday. North Shore lows about 60. Highs tomorrow, 74. Much cooler, lower humidity, and windy with strong west winds up to 20 plus miles per hour. And we'll see some clearing skies too. Friday, we'll start the day near 48 on the North Shore and 56 south of Lake Pontchartrain. Highs Friday about 67, and we'll have a few clouds, still breezy. Saturday, 47 north of the lake for the morning, 53 for the morning low on the South Shore, highs about 70, and lots of sun. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Alexandra Cranford.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL AMFM.com.
Okay, we have Wayne from Mandeville and Miss E from New Orleans.
Emergency Management Station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sinceri. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back. The Ida Recovery Connection, hour number 2. Give us a call, 260-1870, or text us at the Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. And you can give us 260-1870. You can text us or call us. And let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Wayne from God's Country in Mandeville. Hey, Wayne, you on the Ida Recovery Connection. How can we help you?
Hi, Doug and Michelle.
Hi there.
Good to hear from you.
Good.
We have a single-family home in Mandeville and in a subdivision. And the subdivision is 27 years old, but it's in immaculate condition throughout the whole area. But we have a 2% deductible, which we have met with the insurance company. But there's several items above that they are giving us a figure for replacement. But say, for instance, maybe a half round window that we have in one area that was cracked in the hurricane. It cost $500 something to replace. And since our home is 27 years old, they will give us about $110 to replace that window. Mm-hmm. Does that sound like a normal issue for?
Well, it sounds like a problem. What you do is you send them have you replaced it yet?
Not yet.
Send them the estimate, and I would do it by email with who's. Okay. Are you corresponding with your insurance company via email?
I haven't yet. I've just emailed with the agent that came over and
the adjuster. Okay. Well, you can do that. You can start with that.
He did a good job. He did a really good job.
Okay. What I would do is email and say, first of all, when you do these emails, do it as if someone else a year from now was going to read it, they could understand the situation. Because you have two functions. One is to make a record, and two, to have them address your problem. So you say, as you recall, state who you are, state who your insurance company is, and give the policy number and the claim number. And put in there, as you recall, you came to my house on September 15th or whatever to do an inspection, and I received a claim summary. Then you put in the claim summary, it was indicated that this rounded window would be a $150 line item. I've obtained an estimate that says it's $510. Enclosed, please find that estimate. We would ask that that the insurance companies pay us for the difference. Now, you do it by email. It accomplishes two things. One, you're making a request to be reimbursed for the difference. Number two, if they do not address that issue with you and you have to get help, that letter or email will demonstrate that you gave them information that they should have paid on the difference. They just sat on their hands, and that, if you have to go to the next level, you could assert a penalty or attorney fee claim. So what you want to do is document, the dispute. And so, a lot of times with the insureds, when we go to mediation later, if the insureds have, if you hand the emails to the judge or you hand it to the mediator, they're going to look over an insurance company and say, this policyholder has given you all the information that you need, and you guys didn't respond. So therefore, in the resolution of the claim, it would have a higher value for resolution because the insurance company missed the boat. All right. So hopefully when you write this letter, they'll address it. Now, a lot of times insurance companies do not address claims that are maybe verbal because they know that that's not really good evidence in a dispute. Sure. So a lot of times if you document the dispute, they might put it on a higher level, escalation level, because they understand now they have been put on notice of this particular issue, and that could be proved to a third party. So therefore, maybe we have to address this.
I see. Okay. I was just wondering if that was normal, that once you meet your deductible and you've gone over that, that they would look at your house and say, okay, well, even though it's in perfect condition, and with the storm damage, that we will give you a deducted cost of what it would be to replace it because your home is 27 years old.
If it wasn't was occurring, I'd be in my living room watching the World Series right now. That's why I'm doing this, because it's happening to a lot of people. And what we're trying to do is give information to people on how to address this in a way where the insurance company will respond. And one of the ways, yes, sir?
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just saying, so it's usually normal practice for them to give you a figure or a reimbursement of what it would normally cost to replace that.
According to their pricing, according to their scope of work, they will give you a figure. Unfortunately, in this case, the figure they gave you was deficient. So therefore, it's basically the onus is on you to demonstrate that their figure or line item is deficient, and you have to put them on notice in an email or in writing.
They actually have in the estimate that is worth $500 and something for that particular item, but we can only pay you $120 some odd $110 because your home is 27 years old.
Do you have an ACV policy or I'm assuming you have an ACV, actual cash value. That's too much depreciation. I mean, a window should not be depreciated that much because a window doesn't lose its value over time like a roof. Like a roof may lose more value over time than a window or a door. So no, they should not depreciate it 60, 70%. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
And that window was just in one example. They've done that with a few other things as well.
Well, and again, I would go back. It's, what we've been talking about a little bit in the last couple of days is the onus is on the policyholder to quantify the damages. So really you take that claim summary and you say, okay, they gave me some seed money, but I have to prove the differences. I have to prove with what they paid and what it actually cost, and I have to demonstrate that to the insurance company in order to have the opportunity to get reimbursed. And it's best to do that by email, because they understand that if you're emailing it, and they understand that if you present in a certain way, you could be a problem later if they don't address this now, because you address it in a way that would be maybe wouldn't be looked favorable upon by a judge or a mediator. So I would just do an email in a way that if you had a third party who read it a year from now, they'd understand exactly what's going on, and they would say, insurance company, you got plenty of information to have made this payment, and you didn't. You sat on your hands. Therefore, you should pay it, and maybe something over and above for your failure to do so.
Okay, and they do have a local office here. It's a State Farm, so should I just address it to the local?
Your agent can help you. He can help you a little bit. Okay. You can throw a fit a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. They can help you. They don't really have a lot to say so, but they can help a little bit. But you're really going to have to address it with the adjuster, the desk adjuster. That's the one who's going to make the decision.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much. We
have Miss E on the phone.
Being there.
All right. Well, good. We're neighbors in Mandeville. Where there's drainage, there's electricity. Cool. The traffic lights work. City services work. So that's why I call it God's country. And you can crime, and you got great protection.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
There you go.
Agree.
All right, thanks for the call, Wayne.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it very much, Doug and Michelle.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, if we had a politician over here that didn't have drainage, you didn't have traffic lights,
or garbage
pickup, and you had and crime, they'd run them out.
They would.
They'd have pitchforks at City Hall, and they'd say, "We're not putting up with this." All right, thanks for the call, Wayne. Let's go to Miss Eve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Okay, bye. Oh, we're going to take a break. Wayne enjoyed a little happy talk there.
I think he did.
All right. I'll tell you what, Miss Eve, we're going to have to go to Miss E. We're going to have to go to a break because Entercom's got to get his bills paid. So let's go to a break, and we'll be right back on the Ida Recovery Connection with Miss E. I'm sure she's got a good question for us. We'll see you in about 3 minutes.
WWL is your home team.
Okay, Miss E is going to talk about FEMA fraud.
LSU Fighting Tigers. Home of Bobby Hebert, Deuce McAllister, and Mike Haas. For all pro analysis of the teams you love, catch Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up the home team. WWL. The killer crossovers, the nothing but net jumpers, the tenacious throwdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, basketball is back. DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports, is celebrating the return to the hardwood by giving new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Playing daily fantasy hoops is easy. Just pick your lineup of pro basketball ballers, stay under the salary cap, and rack up points for three-pointers, rebounds, assists, and more. Score big, and you can score big cash. And with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes, it's the perfect time to show off your basketball IQ. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
At Diamonds Direct, nobody tells our story better than our own associates.
I hear from customers that come in how shocked they are. They're able to, only with Diamonds Direct, afford a diamond that they never in their wildest dreams thought they'd be able to get.
People are just thrilled with what we offer.
We have exponentially more to choose from. The resources that we have away from our wholesale roots, really untouchable.
When you come here to Diamonds Direct, you know it's something special. You know it's something that is one of a kind, and you got that at such a phenomenal value.
To be a jeweler and have this kind of firepower, we have all these mountings, all this selection, all these diamonds, and incredible prices is just unmatched.
And I think our customers appreciate that we are so
open and honest about every part of this process.
What they're surprised by is the extent that we go to provide an unparalleled, luxurious shopping experience.
This company has a 60-year heritage in diamond cutting, diamond mining, diamond wholesaling. So there's no possible way to get any closer to the source than with Diamonds Direct.
We won't be undersold.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Let's figure out how to find common ground again. At the Institute for Citizens and Scholars, we are focused on rebuilding democracy by broadening civic learning and supporting civil discourse. To learn more about how to get involved, visit us at citizensandscholars.org.
Rejuvenate your weekends with Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
Hey, New Orleans, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Where do you go when you want to sell your old gold jewelry?
CausewayCoinCo.com.
If you have an unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at
going live after this.
4180. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sinceri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers. Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Mrs. E, I believe. Mrs. E, how can we help you?
How you doing, Doug and Michelle? I listened to you on Sunday. Y'all are great.
Oh, thank you. How are
Thank you.
you this evening?
But, well, I'm still a little eerie because I didn't apply for FEMA, okay, and I stayed here. I didn't go, and I rent, so I didn't have too much damage. Just a few siding pieces came off, which my landlady's taking care of. So anyway, I didn't think anything of it. In the beginning of October, I got 2 different phone calls. I leave my answer machine pickup, and I don't have caller ID. So they told me they were from FEMA and inspectors, and they wanted me to call them back, to come do the inspection. So I didn't even answer. Well, the second person that called, he said he was going to be in the neighborhood the next day. So I did answer the door, but I'm talking through my locked screen. Mm-hmm. And he had the badge on, and I'm talking to him, and he had my phone number, and that's the only thing he had. I didn't give him any information because I told him I did not apply. So he said, yeah, there's a lot of fraud out there. He says, I'm going to shut it down. So Monday, I get a letter from SBA telling me I recently applied for FEMA, and they referred me to them. I said, oh. And they said, if you feel that this is an error, to call SBA customer service and to call the theft line, the fraud line for FEMA. So I was I did call the SBA line, and then I called them 4 different times to try and get to a person because they kept wanting my social, and all kind of information. I wasn't comfortable giving that on the phone since this happened. So I said, you know what? The library, the New Orleans Public Library, had FEMA people there. I said, I feel better in person, talking to somebody if they can check to see if, somebody registered, and got anything. So I went down there and I said, could you look something up with just my name? And she said, yes. So she looked it up. She said, yep. somebody did it in your name, and so that was like the $500.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me, like, what's the last 4 digits of your social? So I did give her that, and luckily they didn't. They sent it to. They didn't have my financial information, or they didn't send it anyway. So the lady gave me my register ID number, or whoever registered with that ID number, and she said to call a national fraud line for FEMA.
Mm-hmm.
But before I did that, she said, well, she wasn't from here. She went to ask somebody else, and they said I should call the police and get a claim number. So I said, okay. So I did that when I came home. But they do everything over the phone now. I guess, I don't know, they shorthanded or whatever. And I wasn't aware of that. So they said they would have somebody call me. So when the person called, she told me who she was and I asked for her badge number, and she didn't want to give it, and she just gave me her last name. And then she says, I'm going to give you all of that, after I take the information, and I'm going to give you the item number, because they said I need the item number to give to the recovery line. But I know people who reported it and never called the police. They reported it. And that's why I was wondering why I had to do that. So I didn't call them back. Well, I called back to verify this lady, but the 8212222 number didn't have any information. So they said, I'll refer you to your district and see if they have it.
Tell me what's your concern? I hear
okay, my concern is I guess I'm not going to call the police. So I don't think I need a police
No,
report.
I think what you would do is you report it to FEMA. You told them that, and they'll take it from there. Now, if they want more information from you, they'll call you back based on if someone's, stole your identity. Now, typically what the U.S. Attorney does, because there's always FEMA fraud after these disasters, they will prosecute, a handful of people and make it very high profile. They'll put out an announcement saying, and give the facts of the case. They'll hold a press conference saying, we've just indicted 15 people on FEMA fraud. And they sort of go through each one. And they do that to, one, deter people, maybe, from trying to do that, and, let them know that they're dealing with it. So I think as far as you're concerned, I don't think you need to make a police report. Now, you may want to do things that are about protecting your identity.
It sounds like they didn't get her social, but you might want to.
Yeah, just.
No, they had the social, because when I gave them my last digits, that's how they were able to apply.
What you may want to do is, and I'm not really qualified to tell you, but there's some steps you can take to protect your identity. I mean, you could look at your credit record and see if there's inquiries that have been made and that sort of thing. But so I would suggest you would do that. I think once you give the information to the FEMA fraud division, they'll take the information and go from there.
Okay, now when I call them, I would have to give my social or whatever they ask for, correct?
Well, if it's, I would assume you would have to if it was a FEMA. Yes, if you called there and it was a FEMA number. Now, if somebody called you, maybe you could ask them if you could call them back or something, or get some type of identification from them or some type of verification. But if you called the FEMA number, I think you would be okay.
Okay, there's 2 different FEMA disaster fraud numbers. Somebody gave me a different one that's in this letter, but the lady at the library, who was with FEMA, she gave me the same number.
I would go with the lady with the library.
Okay, that's in the SBA letter, right? Too. That's the same number. It's in the SBA letter.
I assuming that would be, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I was wondering. So I did right by not even. I was afraid to give any information to the police, and when they wanted that, I said, "Oh no."
Well, I don't think it's not a case that the police would handle. It would be a federal issue, and it would be basically a federal enforcement agency that would pursue that. It's not a state law issue, because FEMA is federal law. If you violate federal law, you will have federal enforcement officials. So that would be actually the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District, which is on Camp Street. They would be the ones who would pursue those claims. And they will. You'll get an announcement in about 3-6 months where they're going to have a press conference with the U.S. attorney saying, I've indicted 15 to 20 people on FEMA fraud. And they sort of go through the facts. And what they're saying in between is, hey, if you're committing FEMA fraud, we're watching you. And if we find out you do it, we're going to prosecute you.
Okay, but I shouldn't have to call the attorney's office. Just call FEMA right now, right?
I'd call well, you already reported them, didn't you?
Sir?
Didn't you already report them? That the fact that you already reported the fact that your identity was lifted, right?
Well, SBA told me to call FEMA, and then the lady at the FEMA person at the library said she reported it, but for me to call a disaster fraud and report it. So
okay, well then I would follow her instructions.
Doug, she must have just flagged it. She said she sent it up, but for me to call her.
Well, I think you follow her instructions and just call there. Say, hey, I talked to the lady at the library. You tell them the situation. Is there any more information you need? And I'm sure they'll respond appropriately.
Okay, I understand. Suppose there's some forms that an application or different forms that they're going to send, but just from somebody else that I know that had to do this, but.
Well, I think they have their own protocols. And I would just follow their protocols. And sometimes they may change, sometimes they may not. It might be based on the facts, and the facts were your case. So I would just follow their directions. All right. All right, we got to go to a break. This is Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU.
Okay, we have Jay from the Plus. He has a couple of mobile homes. He has some claims.
Pro analysis of the teams you love.
Some advice.
Sports Talk, weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Then game day, connect to the home team. On air, online, on social. WWL.
Here's an important message from Brad Hassert with the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
License is required for any type of work over $7,500. And those who aren't licensed, to put it very bluntly, is we don't know who they are. We can't tell you that they're competent or they're any quality of work, and you often have no recourse. Those types of guys are the ones that typically take advantage of people in bad work or overcharge or essentially just theft. They take the money and they don't come and do any work at all. The problem with it is, though, that happens so frequently after any type of weather event. People they're anxious to get their stuff going. The board recommends that you verify licensure and insurance on anybody that you do business with. Anybody who wants to get paid in cash, that's always a bad sign. I know that you want your house fixed, but take a minute and just sort through it. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of, let us know. www.lacontractor.org, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we possibly can.
That's lacontractor.org.
Boats require a little TLC. That's why I store my boat in Seabrook Harbor Marine's dry stack facility. And when my boat does need a repair, I turn to the craftsmen at Seabrook. Growing up on the bayou, I learned a lot about boat repair yards. And David and Jeff Montz have the finest repair facility I've ever seen. Jeff, tell us about your capabilities.
Bobby, we are the Gulf Coast's most advanced state-of-the-art yacht and boat repair facility. Be it fiberglass, paint, gel coat, carpentry, mechanical, or electrical repairs, we do it all. We also build custom parts and do complete refits. We are located near the ICW, which makes us accessible from anywhere along the Gulf Coast.
And now, party boat rentals.
What better way to beat the heat than our 24-foot pontoon boat? It's available for half and full day rentals. It's one more reason for us to say, boating made easy.
Seabrook Marina on France Road on the Industrial Canal, just a half mile from the lake. And online at SeabrookHarborMarine.com.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center, our thoracic subspecialists are raising the standard in lung cancer care. We use advanced genomic testing to develop personalized therapies for each patient's cancer. With leading-edge technology like proton therapy, gamma knife and robotic surgery, and innovative clinical trials, we'll do whatever it takes to help our patients face and overcome lung cancer. Learn more at mdandersonlungcancer.com.
Louisiana Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin.
Early voting for the November election begins October 30th, ending November 6th.
If you live in an area affected by Hurricane Ida, visit geauxvote.com or call 800-883-2805 for information on absentee ballots, polling place changes, and election dates and deadlines. I'm Secretary of State Kyle Ardwan, reminding you to go vote.
I'm former NBA player Don Chaney. For years, I had carpal tunnel syndrome and joint pain. Then I started having heart-related symptoms like fatigue and palpitations. Turns out I had heart failure caused by hereditary transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare, life-threatening disease underdiagnosed in African Americans. If you're African American and over 50 with heart failure experiencing unresolved symptoms, talk to your doctor or visit DonKnowsHisHeart.com.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Paid non-lawyer spokesperson. Business and homeowners, if your Hurricane Ida insurance claim has been denied or underestimated, legal help is available. Call the Erpino, Avon, and Hawkins law firm today. Call 504-525-1500. Responsible attorney Anthony Erpino, office in New Orleans.
Hey, nice party.
Yeah, what's new with you?
Did you know blue whales in Hawaii can be heard off the coast of California?
What?
And time travel to the future may actually be possible.
How is that?
I discovered it on Curiosity Stream.
I'm listening.
You can stream thousands of shows on nature, history, science, and so much more.
Cool.
And their annual plans are 25% off, just $1.25 a month.
Now I want to go back in time. Sign up for that deal.
Sign up now at curiositystream.com.
CuriosityStream.com.
That's it, curiositystream.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. As the autumn temperatures get cooler, here are some simple things you can do to help out the environment. Remove any window air conditioners. Check window and door seals for proper insulation to keep heat in and cold air out. And check your furnace, making sure it's clean, and replace the air filter with a new one to keep it running at peak efficiency all winter long. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Navien tankless water
This is
heaters.
the last one, and we've got Jay from LaPlace.
Because you deserve the best in endless hot water
did
delivery.
y'all
Learn about
break
Navient's
this,
condensing
that
tankless
Mark
water
Ingram has
heaters
been
and
traded
find
to
a
the
Navient
Saints?
contractor at
Did y'all talk about that earlier?
tanklessmadesimple.com.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Where'd you get that report?
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri and the Ida Recovery Connection. I think we have Saints news. Looks like Mark Ingram has been traded back to the Saints from the Houston Texans. Have you confirmed that yet?
I'm looking. I just
have
saw it
you
on
have you
Facebook.
called your NFL contacts?
I have not called yet.
You
No,
haven't
I
called
haven't.
Adam Scheffler or anybody like that?
But I know I just saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, we just it's on the internet. It must be true.
It's got to be true.
So I guess we'll confirm it at the next commercial. Mark Ingram, a Saint again. 11 years ago. 11-year veteran. So there you go.
Interesting.
All right, let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Jay from LaPlace, the home of AJ Dewey and Lewis Lips. Hey, Jay. You on the Ida Recovery Connection.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Hey, good evening.
Mark Ingram is back, so
Yeah,
He must be on
we needed
Facebook
that
too.
help. So
That's good. Well, you put the story,
There
man.
you go.
Thanks. All right.
my question is, I have two mobile homes in LaPlace, and I did have insurance. It's not, I don't have flood insurance, but I have regular wind and hail insurance, and they covered certain portions of it, but they're refusing to cover the skirting that goes underneath the mobile home, because they're saying that anything that the water supposedly touches, I guess flood water, they will not cover. But I mean, for the skirting to blow away, it's not going to just, the flood water is not going to damage the skirting. The skirting blew away because of the wind. I mean, it's secured by two railings. There's a top rail, there's a bottom rail, and then it's screwed in. And even those, the pieces flew off. That was because of the wind getting underneath the mobile home and blowing them away. But insurance company. It's Lloyd's of London, by the way, so I know they're notorious for not wanting to pay, but they have just flat out refused to say that. I mean that anything the water touches, they're not going to cover.
That's generally true unless you demonstrate an exception, like you just said. If you could demonstrate that the mechanism of damage was not from the flooding. So in other words, if you had flooding without wind, would that skirting still be there and undamaged?
Right, yeah, it would be because it would take like a deluge of water, like if the levees broke, and it would take something like that for a force of water to
take it off,
to blow those. Right.
Right. So I think what the insurance company is being opportunistic by saying it's been touched by flood, so therefore we're not responsible for it. But the flood was not the mechanism for the damage. So you could, technically. Okay. So what I would say is, and I don't know how much does the skirting cost?
I mean, it's around $2,500 a unit, so it's $5,070. I have 3 units at $7,500.
I would you'd have to make the argument, and Lloyd's of London has several, I guess, layers of authority. In other words, they have to go through several brokers sometimes, or they may have authority, with the local broker to make those kind of calls. But I would suspect that they're going to stonewall you on those skirtings. But I think the argument is the mechanism of damage was not from the flood; it was from the wind. So if you had a flood without wind, and that you would have to make that case. So if they don't, I'm sure if you took it to the next level, they would probably address it because the cost of fighting it would be more than what you're fighting over.
Right.
But see,
so in effect, create like a nuisance lawsuit kind of thing. They would rather pay you off than fight.
Yeah, but but it would be better to now. Here's the other thing. Other thing you can do is you can see if they would agree to the mediation program with the Department of Insurance. And because it's that's the kind of case that they get to a certain point where they just want to close files, and so I would try that. Say, but you're going to have to make your case. And what I would do is send them an email to your adjuster explaining, again, when you write your email, write it in a way that if a judge or a mediator had to read it in a year from now, they would know exactly what's going on.
Right.
So I'd say who you are, what's the insurance company, give the claim number, give the policy number, and also state that they're insuring 2 of your trailers. I would take a couple of paragraphs explaining what occurred and explain why you're entitled to the payment for those damages of the skirting, and email it to them. And if they don't respond, email it a few days later. If they don't respond, just make a paper trail. And so at the very least, if you have to go to the next level, you have a paper trail to at least make the argument that they didn't address it. And since they didn't address it or give a thoughtful explanation as to why they didn't pay, maybe you should be entitled to something on top of that, such as attorney's fees and penalties.
Right. Correct. And just like you said, what they're telling me is that if the water touches it, that means it's out of their hands. So that's not that's a simple.
That's an opportunistic way, and it's true 90% of the time. But the water, the flood in your case, as you described it, was not the mechanism of damage.
Mechanism of damage. So that's what I need to use that word several times in the email is mechanism of damage, mechanism of
or
damage,
causation, or causation. Like the flood could go up and down, and your skirting would still be there and not impaired.
Correct.
But now you're right. If it was a situation where you had rushing water, like if you live by the 17th Street,
it wasn't anything like that. It was just Laplace doesn't have
a levee break,
pumps. Yeah,
it just went up.
It doesn't have pumps, so it's just water just collects. I mean, even if this is a hard rain, you're gonna get you're gonna get a foot of water just whenever there's a hard rain. I mean, that's just the reality of living in Laplace, is because they have a natural gravity drain, and their drainage problems are, I mean, more than I can mention on this phone call. But yeah, so it wasn't like a deluge, or it wasn't even a whole lot of water coming in a short amount of time that would force the siding to be blown away, or float away. So,
right. So,
okay. So it's not a closed case in that way. So I do have some room to
absolutely.
negotiate with them.
Tell them you're not going away. Right. Tell them you're not going away until you get it. So, and I would maybe consider that mediation program. See if they would agree to that. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks for the call. I guess you wanted to talk about a few things. On what do you want? I know you wanted to talk about the trees.
Yeah, I don't think we covered that. And I also wanted to talk about depreciation.
Depreciation, yes. Well, you have two type policies. You have replacement cost policies and actual cash value. The replacement cost, what they'll do is, and I'm gonna make it very simplistic. Let's say you have $10,000 of damages over your deductible.
Right.
They may hold back $3,000 as recoverable depreciation, and they'll write you a check for $7,000. And they say, when you complete the damages, we'll give you the other $3,000.
Right.
Now, if you have actual cash value, they may depreciate the value. It's the actual value of what was damaged. So, for example, let's use a TV.
Well, let's use something in the house.
I know, but I want to explain my concept. If you use a TV and its replacement cost or actual cash value, if your TV is 10 years old,
you'll be lucky to get $50 for it.
Right. And so that's based on depreciation. But certain items depreciate more than others. Like a roof has a higher depreciation rate than maybe windows. Because basically your windows, the condition of your windows do not change over time.
What about
as much as maybe certain more consumable type of products?
Because let me ask you this, because when we looked at our report that came back, they were depreciating paint on a wall.
Yes. And that's an argument. I mean, yes, you can depreciate paint to a certain extent because it's not like it's not as if, I guess, it doesn't have the same life as when it's new.
Okay.
But it doesn't consume as much as such other items. Like if you have cabinets.
Okay.
They don't depreciate as fast because they still the same function. They have the same look.
And so you think paint on a wall would depreciate
not
faster
much.
than?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it depreciates a lot, if any.
Right.
There's certain other items.
So you can argue the depreciation amount that they're.
Yes, because like what I think the prior caller from Mandeville said, he said there was a $510, but he said it appeared that they depreciated his windows by almost 60 or 70%.
Right.
That's way too much. I mean, 5, 10, 15%, maybe so, because your windows still function the same way.
Sure.
And the conditions of your windows are substantially the same as when you bought the house. It doesn't deteriorate over time.
Gotcha.
There's certain products that may deteriorate quickly over time, and that's where you get depreciation. So that's a lot of times you can argue over depreciation and as part of your claim. So that's sort of an explanation.
That was a great explanation. Thank you.
Okay. And let's go to our final break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demarest Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this last break.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings.
We have one caller. His name is Bruce from Kenner, and he has a roofing question.
In the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code LA Sports. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code LA Sports to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code LA Sports. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. details.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't keep regular business hours, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck after 5 p.m., don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Bradner. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Hurt in the wreck, Mike Bradner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond. New Orleans and Company's Fall Food Celebration is underway through November 18th. Sunday brunches and romantic tables filled with candlelight on a random weekday night. Outdoor dining with po' boys and beignets with cafe au lait. Our grills are ready to prepare your favorite dish because some of the best moments of our lives are in our favorite restaurants. Make your reservations now and be part of the celebration of food that is New Orleans. Visit neworleans.com/Fall Food Celebration.
Vinyltech is ready to help our hometown recover. We've tripled our staff and ordered 4 to 5 times more material than Cat 4 Hurricane Michael in Panama City and Cat 4 Hurricane Laura in Lake Charles. This is our hometown, and we know Cat 4 hurricanes and what it takes better than anyone. No one can get you back to exterior pre-storm conditions faster. This isn't a job for us. This is our passion, and this time, it's personal. Services we provide are tarping, roofing, siding, gutters, windows, stucco, and patio covers. One word, vinyltechnola.com.
If you have Medicare, join People's Health for an educational seminar to learn about your options. People's Health has plans with benefits beyond original Medicare, like $0 drugs, dental, vision, fitness, and over-the-counter items, to name a few. This year, give yourself the gift of People's Health. Visit peopleshealth.com to find a meeting location.
Okay, I have one more caller on the line. His name is Bruce, and we will get to him.
Bruce from Kenner.
We will have about 6 minutes to go before the end of the show.
All right.
Wherever your next adventure lies, the 2021 Highlander and Tundra are ready to take you there. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today.
For all station contest rules, go to WWL.com/rules. Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. You see, Michelle, you broke the Mark Ingram trade.
I know. Look at me.
For a late round pick. Did you confirm it with Adam Scheffler
or with our previous caller,
Detillier or Mickey Loomis?
No,
did you get on the horn with them to make sure?
I didn't. My caller was good enough.
Did you find out what draft picks they gave up?
I didn't.
All right.
But I will get back with you on that.
You'll get back?
I will get back.
Call me when you get off the phone with Mickey.
Nudge you.
All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Bruce from Kenner. Hey, Bruce, you're on the Ida Recovery Connection. Bruce.
Hey guys, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got about 3 minutes.
Okay. So my insurance company's been pretty good so far. As far as giving me the reimbursement for things like I have solar panels on my roof. They gave me the reimbursement for taking my solar panels down to repair the roof. But I was told by every roofing company that I've had to come quote my roof that the decking on my roof is not up to code currently. Like, I guess when it was originally installed, it was up to code, but now it's too thin, the plywood for the decking. And no roofing company will do the work without replacing the whole roof and the decking. The insurance company is telling me because there was only some places where my roof leaked and things like that, that they won't replace the entire roof. What do I have any discord or any kind of means to tell them they have to replace the whole roof?
That's a good question. First of all, do you have any, look in your policy to see if you have a provision for payment for code upgrades. Meaning if there's an upgrade in code, they would pay for that. Now, some policies have that, some don't. So if you have that, then you have a no-brainer. They'll have to pay for it because it's, that falls right and square in the coverage. In absence of that, you may have a struggle. It depends on the extent of damage that you have.
Where's he from?
He's from Kenner, so he had pretty good.
Yeah.
You're going to have a little bit of a fight, or a big portion. I would argue that in absence of the hurricane, you wouldn't have had to do these repairs as far as the upgrades are concerned. In other words, if you had less damage, you could just maybe have used the same wood decking. But I guess the question would be if the wood decking was damaged.
We've even had wood decking that actually collapsed into the house, or well, at least into the garage. And then we had like the wind turbine ripped off the roof.
I think that gives you.
So we had a couple of areas.
That gives you a lot more ammunition than just, having lifted shingles. Okay. So I would say that as far as the repair, you have to have a continuity in your repair, and therefore, do you have a replacement cost or do you have actual cash value? Okay.
I believe it's actual cash value.
You're going to have a tougher time. You were going to have a tougher time to do that because they're going. If you had replacement cost or you had code upgrade, you'd be okay. In absence of that, I think you're going to have a problem. I would say that the damage to the decking was substantial enough where it had to be all redone, and then in building it back, you had to have a contiguous.
Well, let me ask you this: did
process.
any of your roofers tell you that because of the storm you needed a whole new roof?
Or decking.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, if he needed a whole new roof.
Right, but it's the decking.
Right.
1 minute.
They told me the whole roof needs to be replaced because one, the shingles are no longer like firm like they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
They're like actually folding into the gutters on the ends.
You're going to have
the whole roof needs to be replaced as far as the shingles, but the decking, they're like, well, we can't put up to code decking, which is at least 7/16, they said.
I think
mine is 3/8.
I think in the areas that it was, I'm sorry to cut you off. In the areas that's damaged, you could probably get paid for that, but for the undamaged portion, you might have a problem with it. So that's going to be tough. I tell you what, call us. We'll give you a better explanation. 837-1304. Michelle, thanks for joining us. We got to go. We'll be on Sunday morning, All Things Legal, from 8 to 11. And we'll be on probably next Tuesday, next week from 8 to 10. So we see you then. Have a great week. We'll see you then.
Home of the Saints and LSU. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
Code upgrade. Like they have that. You have some policies that have code upgrade, which means